Let's get it. Hey, folks, man. This is Monk, a.k.a. Cory, and joined with Bobby Blockbuster. And we got a guest today, man. This is going to be Sean. You know, you might have seen him before on the Game BBQ Pit. But this is the Classics of Cinematics show, and we're here to talk about, you know, the films that kind of shaped and warped our young movie-going experiences. And today we've got a Christmas film for you guys, man. And this is going to be Die Hard from 1988, starring Bruce Willis. It's directed by John McClane. And the story goes, New York City policeman John McClane is visiting his estranged wife and two daughters on Christmas Eve. He joins her at a holiday party in the headquarters of the Japanese-owned business she works for. But the festivities are interrupted by a group of terrorists who take over the exclusive high-rise and everyone in it. Very soon, McClane realizes that there's no one to save the hostages but him.
Oh, shit.
Yo, well, first of all, let's talk about that. Like, we're not even going to debate this, man. This is a Christmas film.
No.
Yo, my man's is literally trying to get home for the holidays and see his family. This is Home Alone.
I got to take the other side on it, man. It makes it a Christmas movie.
All right, here, look, here we go. Here, I'm so happy we get to talk about this.
Yes, please.
I have 4 reasons that happened all within the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Okay.
First thing first. The only reason he came to LA was to spend Christmas with his wife and kids.
Sure.
Okay. That's one. Okay. His wife is still at work preparing to attend a company Christmas party. That's 2.
Okay.
On his way to visit said wife, Rgyle, the limo driver, puts on a tune. The tune they listen to is Run DMC's Christmas in Hollis. That's 3. And to end all, I mean, this takes place on December 24th, Christmas Eve. What happens next?
Okay.
The only thing missing was Santa Claus, and that's a good thing because he might have been confused for a terrorist anyways and got thrown out a window.
So my side of that is everything you described is just a movie that takes place at Christmas. By that description, Harry Potter should also be a Christmas movie because it takes place at Christmas and they sing Christmas carols at one point.
It is.
So my point is there's no Christmas moral to it. There's no carols. There's nothing Christmassy about it, really, other than it happens at Christmas. So it just happens to be an action movie that takes place at Christmas time. That's my stance on it. Well, that doesn't make it a Christmas movie, though.
Through the whole vibe, he's trying to spend time with his family, and that's what people do
during
the holidays.
This is what it's all about. I mean, think about
I'll take that. That to me, that's the good one, right? Because that's the moral, and that's what you need in a Christmas movie. Is you need to have that, feel-good moral moment.
This has the same setup as Home Alone.
It does.
It has the same setup as Home Alone. He basically it happens on Christmas. He gets left home. He's trying to get back to his family. And instead of terrorists, he's got these 2 burglars that he's holding, holding.
But Home Alone is also entrenched in Christmas. There's carols everywhere in that movie. There's 6 carols in that movie. There's no Christmas carols other than Run DMC.
Terrorists don't carol.
They don't. But these ones were well advanced. I'm sure they could have if they were prompted to.
That's a shame because isn't Klaus? I mean, Santa Claus is German. He should have been, Hans should have been all about that shit.
My man, Sergeant Al, he's stuck working on Christmas Eve. He'd rather be home with his family. It's there, man. But,
I'm not necessarily against it. I just take the other side on. I just don't see. I don't know. The other one is, we're not talking about that, but Nightmare Before Christmas too, man. That's always the debated one as well. Is that a Christmas movie?
I feel it is, but
it's in the title.
I can see the.
There you go, though. That's in the title.
I definitely feel it.
But Die Hard, I see that. I like the feel good part. I never really, I don't really think about that he's just trying to get, he's not just trying to save the day. He's also just trying to get to Christmas.
It's another of a film, but let's get into this cast real quick. So
now that we got that out of the way,
we got Bruce Willis, who's starring, which was controversial at the time because all we knew him for before this was moonlighting. So people thought the studio was taking a risk by casting him, but we know it eventually worked out. We get Alan Rickman as the infamous Hans Gruber, which I think elevates the film a lot. We got Bonnie Bedelia, who plays Bruce Willis's wife in this film. We got Reginald Bell Johnson as Sergeant Powell. aka Eddie Winslow's pops. I always thought they always missed the opportunity to connect Die Hard to Family Matters. Like it would have, like that would have been such a great, just a joke to throw in there. Other main dude, we get Devereaux White, who plays Argyle. The limo driver in here.
This is my personal favorite character in this film. He makes me laugh every time he's on the screen.
Sam Jackson was in here? No, I hate when they do this because that was the other movie. I guess because he was in other movies.
Oh yeah, he was in. I think he was in 3, right?
Yeah. But and there's various other people in this film. You know what I really think stands out. You know, I guess we'll get into that. What stands out in this film? The action of this thing is pretty dope. It's different. It's more caperish. You know what I'm saying? Which was kind of different to see for such a big, level production at the time. And I like the fact that the villains got distinct characteristics and personalities. They're not just throwing bodies and uniforms at our, hero. You know what I'm saying? So there's some fun to be had in that.
So and real cool quick, too, something else I just confirmed, and I thought this was a thing, is also to mention that Bruce Willis wasn't the first choice.
Yeah,
he wasn't even the second, third, or fourth, or fifth choice.
All the big guys.
Schwarzenegger turned it down. Mel Gibson turned it down for Lethal Weapon. Stallone turned it down, and even Kurt Russell was being considered until the director was like, "Hey, let's try this Bruce Willis guy."
Which was crazy because all of those guys still did banging shit at the time. So it's like it was almost like musical pairs of action movies. Like just pick a movie, it's gonna be a hit,
dude. Not for nothing. This one, they only spent 25 to 35 mil on the budget. They grossed over 140 million. You know what I'm saying? They said it was the 10th film or 10th place film, money making wise, in 1988, and it was the number one overall action film of that year as well.
And 88 was a packed year. If you look at the other stuff that like this thing dropped in it had all the odds stacked against him, man. Like it was so crazy that the first run of the film posters, they didn't even have Bruce Willis on the poster. They just showed the tower.
Yeah.
And then
right.
Once the reviews started hitting and it started picking up traction, then they put Bruce Willis on the poster.
What was the tagline too on that poster? I'm trying to pull it up. It was like something real sinister, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, something crazy, man.
Like the original, because they did put him in another one later. But yeah, like I forget what it was, but it was like something like, because I think it says something. It might say something about Christmas actually.
Yeah, it's harder to find the ones without them online because they're mostly showing you the ones that that featured them. 12 terrorists, 1 cop. The odds are against John McClane. That's the one with him on it. But yeah, I can't remember the tagline, man. Maybe if you could find that in the background.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can track that down. It was something, if I remember correctly, it was like crazy.
Yeah, but another thing that I thought was cool was his character himself. He was just a regular beat cop, it seemed. He wasn't special forces. He wasn't, SWAT team or nothing like that. He was just ended up wandering into the situation, man.
You know what got him through?
NYPD,
fucking being resourceful. That motherfucker was resourceful as shit.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he could turn anything into something to hang on to, which I give him credit to that. And he kicked ass with no shoes on.
I was gonna say the beauty of it too is that he made sacrifices. He knew what he needed to do, even though it was gonna cause him, trauma or whatever. He had to do what he had to.
I don't know, man. Like I'll do a lot, but I don't know how much ass I can kick with no shoes on because I'm one stub toe away from aborting the mission.
Yeah.
You're trying to hide your stubby toe, motherfucker.
That. Yeah, that's it. I quit. Fucking take over. I'm out of here.
So the craziest thing is, like I was telling Bob earlier, the first time I saw this, I was a kid, and I think one of my cousins had rented it, and we were sitting there watching it. And this thing, dude, this was a long movie, man. Like even now, it's kind of long, but
definitely for the time.
But it's not a bad long. Like it definitely takes the time to set everything up. Even in the beginning when we meet him and his wife and you see that strained relationship, the very thing that he's in town for. Like it's very methodical. And like even once the terrorists take over, even all of that stuff plays out pretty well because we're looking at, you're getting some of the technical side, the stuff the terrorists have to deal with taking over this building. And even him having to deal with them, how he's outsmarting them, staying one step ahead, like using the elevator shafts and just outwitting him, just being aware of his surroundings and doing what he can to, like all he has is his service pistol in the beginning of this, man.
Yeah.
I mean, You know, he starts taking dudes out and he's getting better armed, but the odds just keep going. But he keeps going. He don't give up, man. Like he's a dope character.
Well, and the thing is too is these weren't your average everyday terrorists.
Nah.
They seemed extremely intelligent. Like they all had they had master degrees in terrorism. They were
definitely professional.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The background of the story gives you the idea that this guy's just been this Hans Gruber, which is great. He's a great bad guy.
Yes.
I love his accent. It helps everything. And
he's one of my favorite bad guys too. Like that Kevin Costner Robin Hood. He was amazing Sheriff of Nottingham.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
yes, he was.
Even the other characters, the way they're speaking German, and you don't know what they're saying, but like everyone kind of has a personality in it. That's what I really like. Like I said earlier, it's not just them throwing us bodies and costumes, but every person in here. You could, you even the Asian dude that's in everything. You know what I'm saying?
I like the one dude who
passed away a while ago. Al Leong, that's his name. He's been in everything.
A villain in everything.
Once you seen him, you knew he was going to go down. TV, film. I think he was on MacGyver one time.
He was in a ton of stuff, especially the 80s, 70s, 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I like the imagery too. Speaking to like what you were saying about him being resourceful. Is that one scene where he kills Carl's brother and tries to take his boots and they're too small for him. And he's like, what the hell, and then he gets the cheap cigarettes and everything. And so like it's kind of cool because it shows the imagery that really puts it together. It's like those little things that really make you kind of immerse and like jump on his back and like, all right, I want to see this guy, make it happen. And then of course the iconic scene with the climbing through the vents. Now I know what a TV dinner feels like.
I was just about to say that's the one that kind of you get that claustrophobic feeling when you see him like almost just trying to body shimmy.
And he's like, Could you imagine? That's the beauty of Bruce Willis, though, because like this was his first big shot, but like we said all these other names, right? Could you imagine Arnold being in that vent? That scene doesn't happen. I know what TV dinner feels like. It's not the same. It's not going to carry. It's just not going to do it. Even what's his name, Van Damme or somebody else that just couldn't pull it off. Kurt Russell, maybe. But I'm also biased because I'm a Kurt Russell fan. So
I like the fact that it humanizes him, man. Yes. He's talking to himself. He's talking out. He's like, "Oh, you idiot!" He's trying to figure things out, man. And I think that's what makes this thing stand out above other action stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like take a film like Commando, which is probably equally as loved, but you put these two side by side, this is like Shakespeare compared to that. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different level of care in the filmmaking,
not for nothing, this is another film that just kind of gives us just a whole bag full of dumbass cops that don't know how to handle shit. Like, thank goodness for Al.
I think it's accurate.
I'm not saying.
Oh yeah, what's his name? The principal from Breakfast Club. He was a wank.
But thank goodness for Al, man. Yeah. And he's the one that nobody wants to pay attention to. And you see out the gate, like that's the one that McClane gravitates towards anyways. Yeah. He's the only one who has something good to say and can actually help.
And Al is great in this, man. Cause I think the story goes that Reginald Bell Johnson was actually probably about to hang it up, his acting attempt, his attempt at a career acting, and then this role happened. And then he goes on to Family Matters to become one of those iconic TV dads. But I think this is so great, the report that they have in here, because there's that moment when the chief shows up, and he's like, man, and McClane's like, man, put my man on the phone, man.
Get this D-bag out of here. Get D-bag on the phone.
And they even have that moment too where they build that rapport where he says, if you I'm sorry, the police officer's name just jumped out of my head, but Al, where he's like, if you are what I think you are, then you'll know when to listen, know when to shut up, and know when to pray, or whatever he says. I don't think I got the line quite right, but like that builds that rapport because he figures he's a cop, and then he knows, that's something that he should understand. It's a really good rapport they build there. And then I was gonna say too, who's the other guy?
Argyle, the limo driver.
No. The Weasel freaking salesman guy who's like, "Hey, Hans, Buffy."
I didn't feel bad for him when he got it. He deserved it.
He was like the wife's manager or some shit. Yo, that was so funny to me though when he meets them and he's in their office and he's like,
he cut her on her. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Just busted out a line.
Yeah. And then the owner of the company is like, yeah, he's a cop. He's like, oh shit.
But then the fact that the owner of the company is cool with that, like that's crazy to me. But I guess it's
as long as you're making sales, man.
I've seen that happen, dude. I had a dude I worked with in his office.
I was gonna say too, credit where due is the other guy to mention is William Atherton, who's the Weasel news reporter guy. Because he was the prime piece of crap in the 80s.
He was
in
funny,
Biodome,
man.
well, Biodome I think it was the 90s, but Biodome, he was the piece of shit. In Ghostbusters, and then in Die Hard, at least the first two movies.
Yeah,
man, he was a good worm. He was just obnoxious.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, this thing stands out. There's just so many great characterizations of even my man, the Theo, the computer smart criminal.
Yeah.
Like,
all the football references. I loved it. Like, dude. Oh, and on that note, I love the perfect execution of the double tap when the SWAT team did take over and they were driving in that police dune buggy and they hit him with the rocket launcher once. And my man was like, back up. He was like, nah, hit him again. My man was like, yeah, quarterback sack. I was like, yeah. I love
yeah, when he's doing the play-by-play.
Yeah.
He's like, what does he say? Like, all through the house not a creature was stirring except the FBI or the SWAT team in standard 2x2 tactical formation.
Yeah, man. You know what he does in his free time. That's cool.
Yeah, he was good. I like that. And they do have the little quirks in there, like that we're talking about it too. Like the moment where like they're waiting for the SWAT team and the Asian terrorist dude is sitting there and he's like looks down and he sees the Crunch Bar and he reaches into the snack thing while he's waiting there to shoot the SWAT guys, but he reaches in for a snack. It's just like little things like that you get in action movies that just really
it's something that you don't expect in a film like this because most of the time it's just let's just hurry up and get to the end because this thing is a little long and you realize that they use the extra time to build it up to that, you see everything going down, like, which is cool. Even the terrorist level, their level of planning and getting stuff done, they're moving equipment around, you know what I'm saying? They're bumbling a little bit, they're frustrated, they're frustrated with the leadership, and the whole thing is just starting to like it trips me out because Hans Gruber, he embodies that. So once Bruce Willis really starts fucking with him, he's so ticked off, but he can't really do nothing about it. Like he's just gotta deal with this guy. yeah, for the most part, but toward the end he does start losing his nerves.
When he meets up with McClane too, and he's just real quick on his feet. He thinks, okay, pretend to be a guy who escaped the party, be American.
Right.
But of course, McClane still had the job on him because he doesn't trust anybody.
Yeah, kudos to McClane for giving him the gun with no bullets. And he's like, man, I'm going to see what this dude's really about here. Protect yourself.
No bullets.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's great, man. It just works for so many levels. I think one of my favorite action sequences, it's got to be the Yippee-ki-yay, because it's like, it's going down.
I was always more of a Rogers fan.
And he's trying to figure out what the fuck, like it's just a last minute thing. All right, we'll grab his fire hose and we just going shoo.
I mean, shit. He was already hanging off shit by that point. He used to it. He used a fucking machine gun strap to hang.
Like, that was probably
right. And almost on an elevator shaft. Yeah.
Come on. Yeah, that's probably my favorite sequence, man. It's just
a good one.
So intense. It's something you've never seen in a movie like this, and the glee. You got the one-liners, but his one-liners were good too.
They were good.
You know what I'm saying? He had some good zingers.
Every terrorist before they got taken out got a punchline, or after they got taken out, and I loved that. I was like, damn, man, Bruce Willis, you on it, man.
I wonder what.
He did, and that definitely helped. With his because that's what makes a lot of those action movies. I mean, how many Schwarzenegger quotes. Stallone, Snipes, all of them, man. Like it's all action. Great.
I was watching Predator the other day, and he was like, "Stick around."
Yeah, right. And that was the thing too about this one that I really loved because of the time that it came out. Like, I don't think that I saw too many action films before this one that, with the weaponry that they had. I mean, all the
so check this out.
Guns,
a lot of guns,
all kinds of shit.
1988. 1988. These are the other movies that came out action movie wise. You had Bloodsport. You had Above the Law with Steven Seagal.
That's classic, bro. That's one of my favorite ones.
Red Heat with Schwarzenegger.
And that was him and Belushi, right?
Yeah, that was a dope one, dude. I think Schwarzenegger come from Russia to help Belushi. Midnight Run, yeah.
Wow, man.
Rambo 3.
Nah.
But it's still action movie. It's trash. But,
But
also Young Guns.
Was it Afghanistan fucking pit fighting and shit? Nah, man.
You also had Young Guns.
Okay.
Young Guns is a good one.
Yeah. And then Dead Heat.
That one's dope.
Very
underrated. Very underrated. I like that.
It's stupid and dumb, but it's so much fun,
dude.
It's so much fun, man.
You had
actually got that shit on DVD.
The original Naked Gun came out.
Ooh, yeah.
Action Jackson.
Yes, that's my shit.
You actually had The Incredible Hulk Returns in theaters.
I think that was mostly straight to TV, though.
Was it straight to TV?
Yeah. Okay. That was TV.
And then I mean, there were some other ones, but like literally what I'm looking at here is so of all of these movies, whether good, bad, whatever they are, how they stack up with Die Hard, you have Van Damme, Seagal, Schwarzenegger, and Young Guns. I mean, you have Estevez, Kiefer Sutherland, one of the other guys in there.
Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah,
Lou Diamond.
That's right. Lou Diamond Phillips. I mean, even with Rambo 3, you have Stallone. You had... I mean, you still had Naked Gun. You had a couple Chuck Norris movies, Action Jackson. I mean, these are all the big names in action movies with movies out that same year, and Die Hard slays it.
Number one.
Think about that era, though. Like, think about that era. You had several guys that were quote unquote action stars. Nowadays, it's like probably one or two dudes now. The Rock is one of them.
Hemsworth. I put Hemsworth in there.
Well, Hemsworth, he's mostly Thor. I mean, I guess he's starting to pick up with.
You didn't see that Netflix movie he did? That was good, man.
Extraction, but that's not the same thing, whereas with Stallone, Schwarzenegger, every movie was going to be
everyone that he just named, dog, is the whole cast of the Expendables.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying? So that shows, hey man, in the 80s.
It was action ruled.
They were kicking them out.
We didn't even mention Nicolas Cage yet.
Action ruled the box office.
He was bigger than the 90s. He was bigger than the 90s.
But action ruled the box office in the 80s on a way that I don't think we're ever really going to see that again. Where dudes specifically, that's all I do. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what though? That's the thing that separates modern day action to back then, because there was still that realm of reality. Like you look at Die Hard, most of this shit probably won't happen, but some people probably sit back and watch this and be like, I could do that shit.
But that's the thing is, back then in the 80s, you had to keep it real because the special effects for explosions were shit. So you had to really blow stuff up. Now you don't have to. So you could have bigger explosions, but they just don't have that same vibe.
Like when I look at Die Hard, I feel like it's probably one of the most grounded ones, of that era. Like whereas
Commando's not
grounded. My man, just the simple fact of him pushing that truck up the hill,
the truck carrying the big tree in the beginning. Like, who the fuck carries a log,
motherfucker? Got a sled or a wheelbarrow. Like it's just so ridiculous. Like when he comes through, just gunning everyone down in broad daylight. Hey, don't even get a scratch on them.
If you have an island full of 300 people that are all shooting 300 bullets at a time at you and none of them can hit you, they need to find new sources of employment. They are bad at what they do.
Yeah, man. You should have picked a different
Hedgeman, man.
Arnold's big. Like, I mean,
he's a big
target. Come on.
Yeah. And I think Commando might have been the most jacked he's ever been almost, Like that's just very few movies where he was bigger. So he's even bigger of a target.
But and that's the thing about Bruce Willis too, is Bruce Willis was like, he was the everyman, he was just a regular detective, like we were saying, just a New Yorker dude. He was he wasn't cut, he wasn't ripped, he was he was a dude.
Yeah, he was just a dude, man.
He was just a guy. He was just a guy in his late 20s, basically.
Just a 9-5er, man. The only thing missing was him toting a beer through the whole shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some nacho, a bag of Doritos or something.
Yeah, something.
I love 11 years on the job. You know what's funny? When I rewatched it, I had it on this morning. and when he meets the wife in the beginning, and I'm like, that's his uniform for the rest of the movie, because he's in the office and he has his wife beater on it.
Yep.
He
tank top.
He only starts to lose clothes. Like motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Make
There's one where he's
clothes.
cruising shirtless and shit. I was like, God damn, no shoes, no shirt. You can't walk into any convenience store, my man.
No.
Breaking rules.
Although it is in California, so maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's different out there.
I mean, I just want to point out too, man, that John McClane also did one of my top 10 films, Predator, the year before this. So he did Predator, which kind of, it makes sense now when you look at how the action and stuff unfolds and the attention to detail of some of the stuff, that the same kind of detail that he was putting into Predator, even though this is a way different kind of film. And I think that's what helped, this thing come out like this, man. Because McTiernan, he has a really good track record. He didn't do a lot of films, but the ones he did, they counted, So let me get his filmography real quick. This was actually his second film, actually, in his director stuff. Let me see. Let's go. Yeah, he did a film called Nomads in 85. This is his third film. Predator in 87. Then he did Die Hard in 88. Hunt for Red October in 90.
Dope.
Medicine Man 92. I like Medicine Man.
I did too, man.
Yeah.
Very underrated.
He did The Last Action Hero in 93.
I love Last Action Hero.
He did the 13th Warrior.
Yeah, 13th Warrior.
My book. I fucking love that.
I love that movie too, man. It's
Hell
Beowulf. It's Beowulf, but with a more modern twist.
Yeah.
He did the Thomas Crown Affair, Rollerball, and Basic.
Is that Rollerball with LL Cool J and Keanu Reeves?
Yeah. Yo,
No,
he
it's
got
not Hartnett, wasn't it?
He got a court case for
Was
that.
it? Was it Hartnett?
And he did Die Hard with a Vengeance. I didn't know that. But he got a court case over Rollerball. Apparently he illegally had a private eye wiretap one of the producers. I guess he was having a dispute and he got convicted of that. So that's kind of crazy. Yeah, man. But yeah, it's
Wait a minute.
awesome.
Was the producer a dickhead?
I probably that's all I can think of. Man. Maybe because I don't think that film was received very well. I've never seen it.
No.
I think
It's not that good.
it has Ron
I've seen
Perlman,
it.
LL, Rebecca Romaine, and
I think Josh Hartnett.
Is it Josh Hartnett or
Hartnett or one of them.
I thought it was
I'm pulling it up now.
Keanu Reeves.
Hold on.
I can't remember.
No, I didn't Keanu. Not in Rollerball.
No, I'm sorry. Chris Klein, not Josh Hartnett.
Oh, what's that? Yeah, all right, cool. Well, ain't
Yeah.
Keanu either. I guess he was busy matrixing out at that point.
Yeah, but it definitely had LL.
It has a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oof.
I think that's generous.
A 3.1 on IMDb out of 10.
Apparently, Pink is in here too.
Well, someone had to
And
do the soundtrack.
and dang, Jean Reno, he was slumming it.
Yeah, right? You see some of the other names in there.
Wow, dude.
That film's
this is
some straight
crazy,
doo-doo.
man. I haven't seen it.
Straight doo-doo. You ain't missing nothing.
The 70s version, apparently, that was like a cult classic. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't really got much else to say on Die Hard, man. Like, it's just an amazing film. If you've never seen it, I feel sorry for you.
What? Exactly. That's what I was going to say. If you ain't seen it, then you know what you need to do today or whenever the fuck this drops. Go and watch this one and the other ones that follow.
One thing I'll say about it too that's interesting, and to your point that you just mentioned about him also directing Die Hard with a Vengeance, is of course the fact that Die Hard with a Vengeance, the bad guy is Hans's brother. So it's kind of interesting that he directed both of them, that they do have that tie together because Jeremy Irons, if I could have liked anybody better than Hans Gruber, it was Jeremy Irons playing his brother, because he was just cold, just
and not for nothing. In the third one, you get the Sam L effect too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was great. Man.
He's awesome in everything he's in. There's no fucking snakes on this plane.
I remember.
Go ahead, say why? Because I'm black? No, I don't like you because you're an asshole.
I remember that game, the game they had on that PlayStation.
Zeus.
And I remember the driving stage, and I guess they had some dude being Sam Jackson's voice because you're trying to get the bombs and you're driving around. You're like, turn left up here. Like, that's just, yo, I would love to play that again a little bit right now, man. That shit was amazing. Yo. They had a crazy, but that makes sense, dude, because I think Rennie Harlan did part 2, and I don't know, I didn't like part 2 as much, you know?
Mm-hmm. No, part 2 is kind of.
Wasn't that the one in the airport?
Yeah, where they take over because they're trying to get like Esperanza free, and like, you know, it's
the
just
odd numbers are the best ones.
The thing that was cool about that was, I think we had John Amos. He was a bad guy. You don't really get to see that much, but other than that, I didn't like that.
1 and 3 for me.
The Vengeance, to your point too, the Sam L effect is right off the bat too, because like when he's talking to him and he says, you know, he calls him Jesus. He's like, my name ain't Jesus. He said, Hey Zeus. You know, Greek got a thunder, shove a lightning bolt up your ass. And it's just like immediately you're like, all right.
Out the gate,
it's gonna be great.
Yeah, they were nuts in that thing.
But yeah, so that was something too to you know that I just thought of is that the same director. That's interesting. I didn't realize he did both, and that makes sense now because
he had a short but potent run, man. While he was there, dude.
Hey man, quality over
like
quantity.
I said,
is he not doing anything else since that court case? He basically got blacklisted in Hollywood.
I think he just aged out. You know, he just got tired because he did a lot of producing too. But like the class, like Predator, this Hunt for Red October, like 13th Warrior, like he's got hits under his belt, man.
He's good.
You know,
his grandkids are still eating off Predator money.
He's good. Man, we got a new Predator coming too. That sounds great. Like I think it's going to be taking place like a few hundred years in the past, and I guess the protagonist is going to be like looks like a Native American woman. So this could be crazy, dude. I always wanted them to explore like that historical shit with the Predator because they've been here forever.
Predator needs to fight Conan.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
I need to write that. That'd be hard,
yeah,
dude.
Man, we got this shit on film. What's today's date? The 18th.
Hard.
If this shit come out, we want royalties, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
What do you got?
So I was just reading a little bit on McTiernan. So, well, one thing is we were talking about his filmography, and Rollerball was trash, but Basic is really good. So his last film, he did end on a high note. But it sounds like it's because of his legal issues, because it sounds like he was dealing with legal issues and in and out of prison sentences because they really went after his ass.
Yeah.
And basically what ended up happening is like they vacated a 4-month sentence, but like they agreed to allow him to withdraw his plea or something like that. And then like the case got reopened. And when it got reopened, they filed additional charges against him. And like it just snowballed from there. And then it says that he surrendered to federal prison on April 3rd, 2013. So since 2000, that's 10 years of filmmaking that he couldn't do because he was embroiled in legal battles.
Is he still locked up, or
that's what I'm trying to find where he's at now?
Yeah,
he was released in 2014.
I thought it's Travolta, not damn.
Basic
ass.
was dope. It's Travolta, Sam Jackson.
Is that the one with the little plane?
I think something was happening.
It's like some kind of like stealth fighter.
I think there was like a friendly fire incident. They're investigating it. And and they're investigating it in the film. I think Travolta's like a lawyer kind of, but Sam Jackson was out in the field with this incident. So it's like an army investigation thing, but it was dope. That was a good ass film, man.
It was very good, very good. But yeah, so it sounds just like he's just broke his shit because of all his legal battles. It tapped him out, and all his creditors and debtors came after him. And then he tried to file for bankruptcy, and the judges just basically said, "Fuck you, buddy." So it just sounds to me like right now, just the Wikipedia ends with not a happy ending. It's just nothing.
Oh, free McTiernan.
Yeah, man, all day.
Yeah, right. That's a shame because he did. Yeah. He made a lot of really good films right there in that run.
And not for nothing, with some of that fucking regurgitated trash that's been coming out lately, man, he could probably make another one. He'd make a killing right now. Give us two good action movies.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. But I don't know. I think that's it, man. Unless you guys want to mention anything else.
I can talk about what I feel like cooking later.
I do want to give a shout out to our man Argyle though, because we did not mention about him saving the day either.
Yeah, Argyle was dope.
Crashing the limo.
Crashing a little, yes.
But the fact that he waited, maybe he was on the clock too, so that it's like fuck it up.
Oh, well, remember when they locked down the building, the gates came down.
Mini barring it up, listening to the music,
talking to his honeys on the phone,
Yeah.
on the car phone.
Yeah. And remember, that was his first day as a limo driver. He was like,
yeah, right.
I'm used to this kind of shit. He was like, fuck that, I'll wait for you all day, dog. He broke up these perks.
Do you guys remember the rumor about him too?
Charged the cart of giant.
Yeah, right.
What rumor?
The rumor that there was like a rumor that went around for like the longest time that character was played by Usher.
No.
Yeah.
Get out of here. He's not.
That
Usher.
was seriously a rumor that went around like back in the day. Was that like I remember it in high school? Is like it was a rumor. People were like, yeah, Usher played Argyle and Die Hard. I was like,
oh yeah, that was uninformed of high schoolers.
I'd have made it
crazy is like it wasn't just that though. Like I had heard it later. Like when I went to college, and I went to college in Pennsylvania, so like I had heard this. Like at first I was like, all right, you're just a moron. And then I heard other people like mention that same rumor, and I was like.
Yeah,
Usher it doesn't look like Usher.
Usher would have been 10 in 88.
Right.
And they don't even fucking
look
there's
that.
They don't even look alike, dude.
I don't know, man. Weird shit. But that actually was like multiple people I did have to, were like
I did have to check to see if this one guy was a brother man from the 5th floor, because the guy that's in the helicopter with the
one who's like fucking keep rolling. Yeah,
I had to look at that up. I had to make sure that wasn't bro man early days.
Oh gee.
All right, well let's wrap this up, man. All I can see is definitely check out Die Hard. It's probably showing somewhere this time of year. I think I added it to my DVR.
I can actually tell you right now. I had it pulled up.
Yeah, it's playing on something. There is actually, I think, a service right now. Amazon Prime Video is playing it for free right now too. With I think there's with commercials, but you can. It's still, everything's there. But yeah, that's it. I don't know what our next film is going to be, man. Actually, I do know. We aren't going to mention. We're going to save it. So we got one more Christmas one coming before we get back to our regular scheduled programming, and yeah, by the time you hear this, I think the RoboCop episode will have, that'll be up. But we got more coming, man. There's just more classics. There's more classics, always on deck.
Hell yeah. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, man. If you want to see more of Sean, if you haven't already, you
like and subscribe
on
the Game BBQ Pit. Yeah, subscribe to the channel, man. It's right here.
Wait, don't position it like that. People might not like and subscribe if it means they get more money.
Because you see Sean weekly with me on the Game BBQ Pit, man. We talk about the latest video game news, and where Bobby Blockbuster's at. He's on the movie Massacre, and and that's where I be on all this shit, man. I need to take a break. I do got some interesting news. First time you heard it first, man. But Cable Killers and Friday Night Mics are coming back soon. So we're going to be bringing you guys even more content, going into 2022. And if we don't hear from y'all or see nothing, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And this has been Monk. Catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter, Instagram. Follow the podcast at FromCanopy on Twitter, at FromTheCanopy on Instagram. And you can email us FromTheCanopyPod at gmail.com.
Yeah, there's Bobby Blockbuster. You can catch me at Bobby Blockbuster 118 on Instagram. And yeah, like Cory said, happy holidays to everybody. As long as you're celebrating something, that's good enough for me. Shit.
Yeah, shout out to the Grinches too, man. Y'all matter.
And yes,
yeah. I don't really do much social media, so it wouldn't do any good to give out my anything because I'm never on.
He like Bob used to be.
I got my arm.
I just got tired of it. But definitely, happy holidays to everybody, and whatever you celebrate, and catch me on the Game BBQ Pit. That's always fun.
Shout out to the man on the couch, James.
Yeah.
Man on the couch.
Oh, he not there?
The voice in the background.
Yo, happy holidays, everybody.
All right, so we out of here. Peace.